Welcome to Lifespan. Forget everything you thought you knew about history because today, well, we're going on a bizarre journey
Yeah.
into the life of a man who traded privilege for piracy.
Oh, I love this story.
Major Stede Bonnet,
Major Stede Bonnet,
aka
the gentleman pirate.
Gentleman Pirate. And we'll be diving into all the testimonies surrounding this incredibly strange turn of events.
Yeah. Imagine, if you will,
Yeah,
early 18th century Barbados.
okay.
A wealthy landowner, a pillar of the community,
Right.
had a huge estate, sugarcane, windmills,
Yeah.
and tragically the labor of enslaved people fueling his fortune.
Yeah.
He was married into another prominent family. He was a major in the local militia, though, more for show than service.
Right.
This was a man who had everything, it seemed. And then one day, he decided to become a pirate captain,
I just,
even though he didn't know anything about sailing.
I can't wrap my head around it. It's hard to even fathom
Yeah.
it. Your sources paint a picture of a man so out of place in this rough pirate world that his story is less about swashbuckling, high seas, adventure. It's more about, well, let's unpack this.
It is.
What on earth could possess a man like that to abandon his comfy life, to
Yeah.
just throw it all away for the unpredictable and dangerous life of a pirate?
Yeah.
That's the mystery we're diving into today on Lifespan.
Absolutely. So let's set the scene.
Okay.
Early 18th century Barbados wasn't just prosperous. It was very rigidly structured. You had this established elite,
Right.
and Bonnet was firmly within it. His land holdings were significant, representing real power
Yeah.
and status in that society.
Mm.
To walk away from that wasn't just unusual. It was almost unthinkable, especially when you think about, his family.
Especially his family.
Really?
Exactly. In late 1716, at the age of 29, he doesn't just take a gap year,
Right.
go on sabbatical or something.
He's not backpacking through Europe.
No. He forsakes this life. He leaves behind his wife, Mary Allenby, and their 3 young children, all under the age of 5.
Yep.
So this wasn't a desperate man fleeing poverty. This was a man walking away from security, walking away from abundance. It boggles the mind. What could have been so compelling that it would make him make that choice?
It really does. And it's fascinating when you look back at contemporary accounts. I mean, the sheer incredulity.
Yeah.
Captain Charles Johnson,
Yeah.
a key chronicler of pirate history,
Yeah.
a very important figure for us in this field.
Huge. Yeah.
He sums it up perfectly. Bonnet, he says, had the least temptation of any man to follow such a course of life from the condition of his circumstances.
Right.
What do you think about that for a second?
It's wild.
This wasn't some, down on his luck sailor, press ganged into service.
Right.
This was a gentleman of means who was willingly choosing the life of a pirate.
And failing spectacularly.
Well, we'll get to that. But it just underscores how utterly bizarre
Bizarre.
this decision was.
So the big question is, why? Why would he do this?
Right.
Bonnet himself never really explained his actions.
No. Which has led to, centuries of speculation.
Centuries.
What are some of the leading theories that try to make sense of this incredible 180?
Okay. Well, the earliest and probably most enduring theory, and again, this comes from Captain Johnson,
Okay.
suggests that it was occasioned by some discomforts he found in a married state.
Okay. So right off the bat, we're going with marital problems.
Well, it's kind of
Juicy.
it's the one that sticks, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
we don't have any juicy details
Oh, right.
about his relationship with Mary Allenby.
Right.
But this idea of domestic unhappiness as a catalyst for a drastic change, well, it's really resonated through the years. I mean, it speaks to that common, though often simplistic idea that,
Right.
we blame our personal relationships for major life choices, right?
Right. Yeah. It's definitely, and it persists despite, like we said, no evidence. It's almost like the default. Oh, he must have had a bad marriage.
Well, and it's easy, right?
Yeah.
It's a convenient narrative.
Right. But there are other possibilities, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, could this have been, some kind of midlife crisis before its time?
Okay.
Or maybe just a yearning for adventure?
Yeah. That makes a little more sense, right?
Right. I mean, he was well educated.
Yeah.
He must have read tales, of far-off lands and daring exploits.
Of course.
Could it have been wanderlust? A fear of just living this boring, predictable life on a relatively small island?
Right. And, they didn't have Instagram back then. So
Right.
maybe he had some FOMO. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Fear of missing out. But it does speak to that very human desire to sometimes just, throw caution to the wind. And
Yeah.
just choose a different path,
Right.
no matter how illogical it seems to others.
Right. And I mean, the other thing too is like when you live on an island, and I've never lived on an island, but I
You
imagine,
feel kind of trapped.
yeah, maybe that was part of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's that sense of confinement, right?
Yeah.
So, maybe he was just seeking something more, something different.
And that's what I don't get. Why piracy?
Right.
Of all the things.
Out of all the options. Well, there's a darker possibility.
Yeah.
We have to consider mental instability.
Okay.
Captain Johnson very vaguely mentions a disorder in his mind. Now, when you add to this the death of his eldest son,
Oh, wow.
Allenby, just a few years prior, it paints a possibly tragic picture.
Yeah.
Could losing a child,
Yeah.
could that kind of loss trigger a mental break,
Right.
lead to this irrational decision?
Right.
I mean, it's possible. The death of a child is unimaginable.
It is.
It could have, changed his whole view of life, his purpose, maybe even his mental state.
Yeah.
His actions, this turn to piracy, could be a symptom of grief, of emotional distress.
So he wasn't looking for gold or treasure or
Maybe not.
adventure even? He was just...
Maybe he was just
seafaring.
escaping, yeah. Yeah, it adds another layer to his story, doesn't it?
It really does.
Suggests it was driven by pain and not necessarily a thirst for riches.
Right.
Now, there's also a possibility. Despite all this wealth, we have records indicating that Bonnet borrowed a lot of money.
Oh, really?
1,700 pounds, which back then was a ton of money.
A lot of dough.
Right around the time he decided to become a pirate.
Okay.
Could it have been financial trouble? Maybe a bad sugar harvest?
Yeah.
Did he see piracy as a get-rich-quick scheme?
Right.
Maybe a way to recoup his losses?
Okay.
Or to escape his debts?
So maybe he was actually in trouble?
It's possible. Even the wealthy can face money problems.
Right.
Maybe his outward appearance of success masked a more precarious reality. Or maybe the lure of easy money through piracy outweighed the risks. In his mind, he's thinking, what have I got to lose?
Right, right. So we have all these personal reasons, but there's also a political theory, right?
Yes. Some speculate that Bonnet had Jacobite sympathies,
Oh.
meaning he might have supported James Stuart's claim to the British throne over King George I.
Okay.
So maybe his piracy was an act of rebellion against the government.
Interesting.
It's a very intriguing theory. It puts Bonnet in this broader political context.
Right.
But to be fair, the evidence linking him to the Jacobites is very, very thin. It's more of a speculative interpretation than a concrete fact.
So we have all these potential reasons.
They do.
None of them are definitively proven.
That's right.
It's like this just adds to his enigma.
Yeah.
But that idea of his son's death as a potential driver of all this, it adds this layer of tragedy
It does.
to what could otherwise be seen as just a foolish whim.
Absolutely. It moves us past this caricature of, the bumbling gentleman pirate. It suggests a more complex figure,
Yeah.
perhaps even a broken individual. So how about we delve into how this man of privilege actually became a pirate? Because that's where his lack of preparation really shines.
I know. It's like you would expect a pirate to seize a ship, right?
Exactly.
Like in a daring raid, but no, not Bonnet.
No. He buys one.
Buys one.
Yeah.
A sloop that he names the Revenge. It's almost comical. Like he's just going shopping for a new toy instead of engaging in, this life of crime.
It's completely outside the norm.
Right.
I mean, buying a vessel, huge investment.
Yeah.
Shows you right away he didn't know how pirates do things.
Didn't have a clue.
And then there's this. Instead of doing what every other pirate captain did, the crew shares in the plunder.
Right.
He hires like 70 guys in Bridgetown, these derelict seamen,
Yeah.
and pays them wages
Yeah.
out of his own pocket.
Like he's running a business.
It's like he's running some land-based business.
Yeah.
But on the high seas.
He's like piracy with benefits and a 401k.
Paid vacation.
It's insane.
No.
So he is funding his own criminal enterprise.
That's right.
But here's the kicker, and this is the thing that I can't wrap my head around. The captain of this pirate ship had no idea how to sail or navigate.
Zero experience.
He's relying on his quartermaster, on his experienced crew for the most basic seafaring things. I mean, can you imagine being on that crew?
Oh, I would love to have been a fly on the wall. Imagine the conversations. Here's this wealthy gentleman bankrolling the whole operation, but he has to defer to his employees for everything.
I know.
Talk about a blow to the ego. And the crew, they probably had zero respect for him as a pirate.
Oh, totally. But I guess money talks.
Money talks. And despite all this, they actually had some initial success. They plundered several ships off the coast of Virginia. Further north, they were getting away with it.
Okay, but then there's this bizarre habit that Bonnet had.
Oh, yeah.
He would burn any ship they captured from Barbados.
I mean, what do you make of that?
That is so strange. Was he trying to keep his new career a secret?
Possibly. It could be a sign that he still cared about his old life,
Yeah.
his reputation back home. Even as he's actively becoming a pirate, there's this part of him that's still connected to Barbados. It's fascinating, isn't it?
It's so weird. But, his luck, or I guess his crew's luck, had to run out at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
And it did, in a pretty dramatic way.
Yeah.
Bonnet mistook a Spanish man-of-war
Oh, no.
for a merchant vessel.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. You can imagine how that went.
Not well. The Revenge was severely damaged. Bonnet was badly wounded. They lost a lot of men. It was a total disaster.
A complete and total
It
disaster.
was a harsh lesson in the realities of piracy.
So this bumbling gentleman pirate, through a series of very strange decisions,
Yeah.
ends up crossing paths with perhaps the most notorious and feared pirate of all time.
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard! How did that happen?
Their paths crossed in Nassau. Back then, it was a haven for pirates,
Yeah.
kind of like a pirate's paradise.
The pirate's paradise. I mean, Blackbeard, he was the real deal. Seasoned, cunning.
Oh, yeah. Incredibly shrewd.
He must have seen Bonnet coming a mile away. Like,
Ah.
here's this.
Wealthy, inexperienced amateur.
I know.
Easy pickings. And I think it's safe to assume that Bonnet's crew, they were probably fed up with his incompetence by this point.
Oh, for sure.
So Blackbeard essentially steps in and takes control of the Revenge.
Oh, wow. And Bonnet just let that happen.
What choice did he have? His authority was already shot. And Blackbeard, well, you didn't say no to Blackbeard.
No, you definitely didn't say no to Blackbeard. So Bonnet goes from being the captain of his own ship to essentially a guest on his own ship.
Pretty much. I mean, there are stories of him just wandering around in his nightgown, reading books.
While Blackbeard is terrorizing the seas.
Exactly.
That's got to be humiliating.
Talk about a fall from grace.
But he stuck with Blackbeard for a while, right?
He did. And they had some success together, believe it or not. They captured 11 ships in Delaware Bay.
11. Wow. And they got their hands on a pretty impressive vessel too, right?
Oh, yeah, they captured a big French merchant ship, the Concorde. Blackbeard refitted it, renamed it the Queen Anne's Revenge.
The Queen Anne's Revenge. Iconic.
And Bonnet was there when Blackbeard blockaded Charlestown, present-day Charleston, South Carolina,
Wow.
holding the city hostage for medical supplies.
Pretty bold move.
Classic Blackbeard.
So Bonnet's right in the thick of it. But we know this partnership doesn't last.
No, it ends in betrayal. Classic pirate story.
Okay, so set the scene for us.
It's the spring of 1718. Topsail Inlet, North Carolina. Blackbeard runs the Queen Anne's Revenge aground. Now, some say he did it on purpose,
Ooh, shade.
while Bonnet was ashore trying to secure a royal pardon.
A royal pardon. So maybe he was already having second thoughts about this whole pirate thing.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Blackbeard strips the Revenge of all its valuables and maroons a bunch of Bonnet's crew.
Wow. What a jerk.
It's cold, but it's classic Blackbeard.
Yeah. You said it before, you don't say no to Blackbeard.
You don't say no to Blackbeard. He got what he wanted. A well-equipped ship, some temporary legitimacy, and Bonnet. Bonnet was a liability.
Yeah.
It's the naive gentleman versus the cunning cutthroat pirate.
What a story.
And Bonnet seeking of a pardon just adds another layer. Maybe he was disillusioned with the whole pirate life.
Yeah.
Maybe he realized it wasn't what he thought it would be.
So word gets back to Barbados.
Eventually.
Their former major has turned pirate,
A gentleman pirate.
a gentleman pirate, but then gets ripped off by Blackbeard. What was the reaction back home?
It was shock. Disbelief. I mean, you can imagine.
Yeah.
Some people genuinely thought he had lost his mind.
Yeah.
Others, maybe they stuck with the earlier theory, blamed his wife, the old shrewish wife tale. But interestingly, back home, there was more pity than outright condemnation. Like, what a shame he's gone off the deep end.
Okay, but what about the American colonies, the victims of his, albeit not very successful, pirating? What was their take on Bonnet and his crew?
It was a little more complex. I mean,
Uh-huh.
initially in some ports, there was a bit of tolerance.
Really? Tolerance for pirates?
Well, yeah, sort of. I mean, they brought in stolen goods, boosted the local economy,
Right.
Some officials turned a blind eye. But then the British government started cracking down, especially after the War of the Spanish Succession. And as guys like Blackbeard got more notorious, the fear and hostility towards pirates really grew.
So basically, the more successful you were as a pirate, the more hated you became.
Pretty much.
Ironic. And Bonnet, even though he was a terrible pirate, he still managed to become pretty well known, right? And it wasn't just because he hung out with Blackbeard.
Right. His story was just so unusual. A wealthy gentleman who chooses piracy. It's a complete 180 from the typical image of a, down on his luck rogue.
Yeah, it makes him almost sympathetic.
In a way, yes. And his incompetence, it just adds to the intrigue. It's like, how could someone so ill-equipped even attempt this?
Right, right. So he's eventually captured, brought to trial in Charleston. What was the legal system's view of this gentleman pirate?
Well, they weren't very sympathetic.
No surprise there.
The judge, Nicholas Trott, was very harsh. Basically said a man of Bonnet's education and social standing should have known better. It's a far cry from the potential pity he might have gotten back home. It really shows you the different standards and expectations for someone of his background.
It's interesting how our interpretation of Bonnet has changed over time. I mean, we started with these explanations like a bad marriage.
Or badness.
Or madness, but now people are seeing his actions as this attempt to break free from societal norms, to forge a new identity.
Exactly. We reinterpret these historical figures through our own modern lens. It's natural.
Right, and our flag means death. That show really explores those themes, right? Escaping toxic masculinity.
Finding love, even.
Finding love, and it's made him a bit of a folk hero, hasn't it?
Absolutely. The show's taken liberties with the historical record, of course, but it sparked a renewed interest in Bonnet.
Right. So, aside from the broad strokes of his story, are there any lesser-known details that might give us a better understanding of this guy?
Oh, there's some interesting tidbits.
Lay it on me.
His ship, the Revenge, was a 60-ton sloop. Initially armed with 10 cannons, but he added more later. He even made his crew sign articles, like a contract.
Really? So he was trying to be organized?
In his own way, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there are these stories, these anecdotes that paint a picture of him being completely out of place, walking around in his night clothes, reading books while his crew is, doing pirate stuff.
Yeah.
It's like he never fully embraced the role.
Didn't quite get the memo.
Exactly.
So after Blackbeard basically robs him and leaves him stranded, Bonnet still tries to be a pirate again.
Really? He does. He calls himself Captain Thomas.
Captain Thomas, okay.
Renames his ship the Royal James, and even manages to capture a few more vessels.
No way. Did he actually get better at piracy?
Maybe he picked up a few things from Blackbeard. Or maybe it was just dumb luck.
Right.
But his second act was very short-lived.
Yeah.
He was captured in September 1718 in the Cape Fear River, trying to fix his leaky ship.
That's not a great way to go out.
Not exactly glorious. And that was basically the end of his bizarre journey.
Imprisoned in Charleston.
He tried to escape.
Of course he did.
But they caught him.
Yeah.
Then the trial, the conviction, the execution.
It was inevitable.
December 10th, 1718. He was hanged.
Wow.
Apparently he was stunned and silent at the execution. Kind of a sad, quiet end to this larger-than-life, misguided adventure.
Oh.
They buried him in the marsh with his crew. A tragic finale for a man who had so much privilege and potential.
Such a sad ending. So for those listeners who are fascinated by Major Stede Bonnet and want to learn more, where should they go?
Well, there are some amazing primary sources. Captain Charles Johnson's General History of the Pirates. It's a classic, though you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
There's also the trial transcripts. The Trials of Major Stede Bonnet and Other Pirates gives you a real sense of the legal proceedings.
Oh, okay.
And there's a letter that Bonnet wrote pleading for his life. It's quite moving.
Oh, wow. Where can they find that?
You can find it in the archives. For secondary sources, there's Jeremy Moss's book, The Life and Trials of the Gentleman Pirate, Major Stede Bonnet, and Christopher Downey's Stede Bonnet, Charleston's Gentleman Pirate. Both really good.
Awesome.
And if you're just interested in the golden age of piracy, I recommend Under the Black Flag by David Cordingley
Okay.
and Eric J. Dullen's Black Flags, Blue Waters.
Excellent suggestions.
And online, there's a great episode of the Unsung History podcast on Stede Bonnet.
Oh, I love that podcast.
You can find articles on websites like Biographics or Wikipedia if you're looking for a quick overview.
Easy.
And if you want to go deep, there are archival materials at the National Archives in Atlanta, the South Carolina Historical Society, the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources.
Wow, so much to explore. And we've also put together a couple of handy tables summarizing the different theories about Bonnet's motives.
Yes, and a timeline of his, shall we say, unconventional pirate career.
Exactly. So Major Stede Bonnet.
Ooh.
Wealthy gentleman turned pirate.
Terrible pirate.
Terrible pirate. His story's like this puzzle. We may never fully understand why he made the choices he did.
But that's part of the appeal, isn't it?
It is. It reminds us that, people do strange things. Sometimes they crave something different,
Yeah.
something more.
They want to break free.
And those desires can lead us down some really unexpected paths.
Unexpected and maybe a little bit crazy.
Totally crazy.
Hmm.
So what do you think? What's the most plausible theory about Bonnet's motivations? Let us know.
Yeah, share your thoughts.
This is Lifespan.
Until next time.
The